The origins of the Coquina Stone Foundation, located in Old Fort Park, are one of the most debated elements of local history. During an archaeological study sponsored by the city and county in 1989, archaeologists established that Old Fort Park is the site of a prehistoric Indian shell midden dating to the Second St. John's period, from around 800 to 1565 A.D. Middens were the trash heaps of early Native Americans, containing clam and oyster shells, animal bones, and broken pottery, among other debris. These middens dotted the coast of Florida, but most were mined by residents in the 19th and 20th centuries who carted away the material to build roads. Andrew Turnbull's 18th century settlers may have burned these available shell materials to extract lime to make the mortar used in tabby construction. Local archaeologists believe this foundation was the beginnings of a plantation home that Andrew Turnbull began for his partner, Sir William Duncan, before the Turnbull settlement failed in 1777. Another theory says the building was a storehouse or warehouse used by the settlement. In 1803, almost 30 years after the end of the Smyrna settlement, Ambrose Hull built a home on the site. Hull worked for several years harvesting sugarcane, cotton, and live oak timber with workers who joined him from the Bahamas. The home was damaged in 1807 by Native Americans during the First Seminole Indian War and was destroyed by American marauders who swept down from Georgia in 1812 during the Patriots' War. After that, Hull left the area. The next documented home on the site was built by local sugar plantation owners William de Peyster and Henry Kruger, who owned a sugar mill west of New Smyrna. John Sheldon and his family occupied this home when John was hired to oversee the sugar plantation. On Christmas Eve, 1835, Seminole Indians attacked and destroyed the sugar mill and burned all the structures in the area. By 1850, John Sheldon had completed work on a large hotel, which sat on top of the shell mound. It had 60 rooms and was said to be the finest hotel south of St. Augustine. During the Civil War, in July 1863, 2 Union gunboats opened fire on the hotel. The Sheldon family fled to hide in the woods. Rodolphus Sheldon, one of the younger children, crept back to gather some food for the family and was in the house when the boats reopened fire. He later wrote, "A shell came through the parlor but a few feet from me and sliced off the top of our piano as nicely as though cut with a knife." The Sheldon family was forced to leave New Smyrna once again, and John Sheldon died soon afterward. After the war, his widow Jane and her children returned and built a smaller version of the hotel. It was said to have been built mostly of scavenged materials, wood that had been washed up on the beach from wrecked ships. It served as a hotel, store, and post office for several years before falling into disrepair. The building was torn down in 1903. During the Great Depression, construction crews from the Works Progress Administration, the WPA, were sent to New Smyrna to fortify and build civic buildings. The crew that worked on the Coquina ruins in Old Fort Park reinforced the walls and added retaining walls that caused the structure to look even more fort-like. During the 1989 study, local archaeologists also recovered artifacts associated with the British colonial period or later. Today, the site is recorded in the National Register of Historic Places and is protected under federal and state laws. The foundation is a great physical reminder of the diverse history of the settlement of the Florida Peninsula. The park is host to many events throughout the year and has provided a place for children and their families to enjoy and speculate about the events of the past.